I'm reporting from the Mobile World Congress here in Barcelona, and with me are two gentlemen. Firstly, Kris from Ovum and Milan from Huawei. Kris, first of all, managed services is about scale and best practices. What are the best practices that you've seen to drive for operational excellence?
It's a good question. I mean, scale is always there. Complexity, the cost, the need to drive out cost, those are hygiene factors. Those have always been, or at least for the last few years, those have been very much uppermost in operators' minds. But I think we're seeing a subtle change now in the market. We're seeing a much greater emphasis, a much greater need from the operators, the CSPs, for assistance in new areas. So leaving aside actual technology or topic areas, I mean, the kinds of activities I'm talking about here are assistance with simplification, with automation, delivering faster time to market, getting the MSP, the managed services provider partner, to provide more assistance with generating value. So it's much greater engagement. It's a more complex relationship we're talking about here.
For many years, communication service providers have been competing based on the quality of their services, prices they're charging their end users, and obviously how efficient they are in delivering those services. And these market differentiators have been put under the umbrella of operational excellence. Huawei have mastered managed network operations and best practices like standardization of service delivery environment, including processes like managed service unified platform, and automation of work activities and tools they are using, like operating map, for example. The third practice is centralization, or actually ability to benefit from the size of network operations, or simply saying to leverage the economies of scale. And Huawei delivers those through 3 global network operation centers deployed in Romania, India, and Mexico to cover the global footprint.
Okay, and Kris, apart from operational excellence, what are the other expectations from CSP?
Multiple expectations, and they're growing all the time. I mean, one of them already, as Milan mentioned, global presence is key. That is uniformity of experience and being able to support across all areas. But I think there's also a growing need in new technology areas and new areas of operations. So we've done some research recently around surveying operators globally, and increasingly we're seeing new areas of managed services or partnering need, outsourcing around small cell, around network sharing, around a lot of the new technology areas that are being spoken about here in Barcelona, so NFV, SDN, around virtualization. So there'll be a growing need in all those areas, and of course IT. So it's really all the new product areas, all the new technology areas you're seeing being addressed. De facto, you need the partners to provide the support to address those areas. And wrapped around all of that is the need for operational transformation.
Okay, Milan, your comment on that?
Given the huge market dynamics and many technology advancements, which Kris mentioned, there is need to deliver much more. And Huawei can, by getting a greater scope, deliver greater value for customers. And in knowledge-based digital economy, communication service providers can't do everything themselves. They have to fully understand the whole service life cycle to identify what are their key business strengths and focus on those to excel. But for non-core capabilities, they have to really look for strong, right, long-term partners, and Huawei can be one of them for managed services. We have defined our theme for this year, creating value by collaborative operations, and that's really exactly what managed services can do for them.
Okay, thank you, Milan. Kris, how should MSPs create more value for CSP?
Well, they can make a good start by doing some of what Milan says here, which is about the partnering. I think increasingly when the conversations we're having with the operators, they're looking for strategic partnerships. They want somebody not only that's going to deliver a long-term relationship and is going to change their business around, they basically want someone who can understand their business inside out. It's no use just turning up and saying, oh yes, I will now run this more efficiently or I'll run it more cheaply for you. What they want is somebody, a partner, who will understand their business objectives, who will understand their strategic objectives, and then build around those creatively. So it then becomes a slightly different relationship. It's more about anticipating what the customer needs are. And some of the areas in which you're seeing activity, we're seeing a lot of activity in the sector around things like customer experience management, around service quality. A lot of those areas, service assurance, those areas we're seeing a lot of activity, and some of the others I mentioned earlier. But first and foremost, it's about having a good, solid partnership.
Okay, thank you, Kris. Milan, let me have the last comment over to you.
The way we have done it is really, first of all, we have changed our mindset, become more innovative, more proactive, able to take greater responsibility and be able to help our customers. Then we have expanded our portfolio, used innovations, and offered new components in our managed service portfolio. Let me mention just a couple of them. One called New Product Resource Readiness is really to help communication service providers to launch multiple of services at a very short period of time in order to achieve fast time to market. Next one is to utilize the latest technology and data center enabled solutions, and we have defined operations web services for customers to use, which dramatically reduces the time to deploy services from months to only days, and services can be changed from weeks only within hours. Then we have also added some services into our umbrella of managed service operations, like capacity management through our dynamic capacity feature, and agile planning, and also managed planning and engineering is now part of managed service offering.
Okay, well, Milan from Huawei and Kris from Ovum, thank you very much.
Thank you. My pleasure.